Courtrooms are meant to be places of justice, order, and finality. But sometimes emotions explode and chaos erupts. Today, we're diving into the most intense, jaw-dropping moments when criminals didn't accept their fate and turned the courtroom into a battlefield. From last-ditch escape, attempts to violent clashes with officers, these shocking moments reveal just how unpredictable the law can be. Let's start with Daniel Nicholson, a father of four who found himself in a whirlwind of legal trouble. Accused of possessing weapons, setting a car on fire, and stealing a motorbike, Daniel's life spiraled out of control. But things got even worse when he was charged with attempting to escape custody and attacking an emergency worker. At first, he was granted bail, but his courtroom behavior was what sealed his fate. Unable to control his frustration, Daniel stood up in court to protest the magistrate's decision, showing visible signs of agitation. What happened next shocked everyone. In a split second, Daniel leaped over the courtroom dock, aiming for freedom. Officers quickly intervened, but Daniel wasn't going down without a fight. He threw punches, fought back, and even tried to evade capture by jumping over a table. But his wild escape attempt came to a screeching halt when a police prosecutor tackled him to the ground.
Vote bail. I revoke bail. No, you can stop. Seat. Take a seat.
Miss, please, miss.
Please, miss. I'll show you what please, miss.
Officers finally restrained him, but not before Daniel left behind a trail of destruction, including a court officer with a broken foot. Daniel's violent behavior was attributed to drug use, specifically crystal meth, but that didn't save him from additional charges. His sentencing: a $320 fine for weapons possession and a 21-month prison sentence, with the possibility of parole after 1 year. This courtroom chaos will be remembered for a long time. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you more intriguing stories like these. Next, we have Paul Wade, who faced charges for the deaths of Edward Lumet Smith and Alexis McCrary, both just 26 years old. During his trial in Kentucky, tension was already high in the courtroom, especially among the families of the victims. The murmurs and whispers in the gallery were enough to disrupt the proceedings, and despite several warnings from the judge, the family couldn't hold back their emotions.
You're going to have to leave the courtroom. You have to
She was saying we all family.
Okay, you've got to not talk. Okay. No talking in the courtroom. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But things took an explosive turn when Paul was leaving the courtroom. As he walked past the victims' families, he muttered something under his breath, something that instantly set the room on fire. A family member, enraged by what Paul said, vaulted over chairs and the judge's dock to confront him. Chaos erupted as other family members joined in the pursuit, turning the courtroom into a battlefield. Security officers had to resort to using pepper spray to break up the altercation. The aftermath: 4 family members were arrested and charged with misdemeanors, including disorderly conduct. Paul Wade, on the other hand, was swiftly taken into custody after the melee. His head was accidentally injured during the chaotic scene, but that was nothing compared to the raw emotion that filled the room. It was a courtroom fight that no one will ever forget. In a Michigan courtroom, Melissa Hardwick faced charges linked to a domestic violence order filed by her husband. Judge Jennifer Edwards warned Hardwick to control her behavior during the proceedings, but Melissa became increasingly defiant, disregarding the judge's warning. When Hardwick was sentenced to 10 days for contempt, she lost control and violently lunged at the judge.
I've taken your statements in your petition as part of your testimony, but I need you to tell me briefly, in your own words, what happened to cause you to ask for a domestic violence order.
Yes, Your Honor.
My personal life is
No.
none of your business, John. It has nothing to do with
Miss
you
Hardwick?
boys. No.
You will be held in contempt of this court if you become
I don't
disruptive.
care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to
Okay.
him.
She will be arrested for contempt
It
of
doesn't
court.
make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court.
Security officers quickly intervened, restraining Hardwick and escorting her from the courtroom. As a result of her outburst, Hardwick received 120 additional days in jail and multiple charges.
Can't find back.
Wait and see.
For 3.5 years, and this is the first time anything that serious has happened.
Including resisting arrest and terroristic threatening. Keandria Cook, an 18-year-old student, used a dating app to lure a man into a robbery that escalated into a shooting. Cook's hidden motive involved her accomplices ambushing the victim during what was supposed to be a drug deal and a sexual encounter.
All right, Miss Cook, come on out.
During sentencing, Cook claimed innocence and pleaded for a second chance, but the court handed down a 20-year sentence for carjacking, among other charges. Her emotional breakdown in court, as well as the grief of her mother, made the courtroom tense. However, Cook's sentence was later reduced to 11 years.
See the 20 years in state prison.
In Tennessee, Spencer Boston shocked a courtroom when he protested marijuana laws by lighting a joint in front of the judge. While facing possession charges, Boston expressed his frustration with the law and decided to make his point in a highly unorthodox way. Court officers swiftly intervened and arrested him.
Mr. Boston, he said he wants to represent himself in this case. I told him today was just an arraignment. It's either guilty, not guilty by day.
Start talking, son.
Yes, sir. I think it's very unfair, the marijuana law here. I think we the people deserve better because marijuana is a very harmless drug and it's been around for ages, since the 80s and 90s.
I've heard that baloney all my life, so don't go any further on that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether it's good or bad. All I know is
Yes, sir.
Tennessee still has it against the law. I swore to uphold the laws, and I have to uphold the laws as a judge. It probably is unfair, but I can't change it. You've got to go see the legislature to get that changed.
Yes, sir.
And if you get
Adding new charges of contempt and simple possession to his initial case. The bizarre act left the courtroom stunned, with many viewing Boston's stunt as both audacious and foolish. Arthur Booth's case became emotional when he realized the judge presiding over his trial was his former middle school classmate, Judge Mindy Glazer. Charged with burglary and resisting arrest after a high-speed chase, Booth broke down in tears as Glazer expressed sadness at seeing him in such a position.
Okay, Mr. Booth, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry to see you there. I always wondered what happened to you, sir.
Oh my goodness.
This is the nicest kid in middle school.
Oh my goodness.
The emotional exchange highlighted Booth's struggles with addiction and his resolve to turn his life around. After his sentence, Booth was released 10 months later, reunited with his family, and accompanied by a renewed sense of purpose. In one of the most shocking courtroom incidents, Judge John Murphy of Florida lost his temper with public defender Andrew Weinstock during a heated disagreement. Frustrated by Weinstock's refusal to waive his client's right to a speedy trial, Judge Murphy invited him to fight outside the courtroom. The altercation was recorded audibly, and after the physical scuffle, Judge Murphy returned to the courtroom to applause from defendants, reflecting the absurdity of the moment. Despite his military background, the judge's behavior led to disciplinary action from the Florida Supreme Court. If you found these stories intriguing and want to see more incredible true crime content, be sure to subscribe to our channel.